When I downloaded Guild Wars 2, I had the full intent of just to do it as a throwaway video, like a Final Fantasy player plays Guild Wars, the way I did Warcraft, and just do a video of it and then never play it again. To my surprise, it's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. And it deserves better than me just destroying it for a throwaway video. So let's talk about Guild Wars 2. And we'll start where we always start, is the character creation. It's okay. It's fine. It's doable. It's better than New Worlds. It has a bunch of presets that you get to pick from, and you have 5 races to choose from. You get to pick from the Nords, the Shar, the humans, Dobby from Harry Potter, and a leaf people. Of course, I chose to be a human female. And it's fine. Nothing to write home about. But it does the purpose. It's fine. Depending on who you choose is where you start out. Like Final Fantasy and old school WoW. I started in Queensdale. And I don't know if the tutorials are always the same depending on who you choose. I imagine not. But the tutorial was a bunch of centaurs that are attacking the village. And it teaches you combat, all that other things. The tutorial is short and sweet. And then it just... Once the tutorial's gone, they just let you off the leash. They're like, go have fun, go forth. Questing works differently in this game. So instead of going to the quest giver, he tells you to kill 5 wolves and come back. After the tutorial, they let you off the leash and you just go. There are hard quests that you do. And as you kill things, collect things, stomp on things, open traps of things, the heart gauge fills. And then when you finish that heart gauge, you go back to a vendor. And he's like, oh, thank you for helping me. Here, let me sell you some stuff. And there's some rare stuff in there. Guild Wars is more focused on exploring the world. It's like your own adventure. And it doesn't hold you back from anywhere either. I was just exploring to see how far I could go, and I found myself in a level 40 zone. There's a level 5. I'm like, oh, well, I better go back. And then I went back. Honestly, I do really like that design of it. You know what else I like? Is actually the art style of it. Graphically, it's not gonna win shiniest tool in the shed award. But art style is unique. So if Final Fantasy is anime, World of Warcraft is comic book, then Guild Wars is water paintings. Okay, so I do like Final Fantasy better. But that being said, Final Fantasy is like a Final Fantasy first and then an MMO second. Guild Wars is all MMO. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of loot to collect. There's a lot of gear. While not every new piece of gear looks different. There's a lot to collect. You could find yourself just like... So Destiny does this too, where if you want to roll on a piece of gear, you just do that same piece of content, and you grind that same piece of content until you get what they call the God roll. And I think that's what Guild Wars does, where you don't build up, you build horizontal. As in, you try to build for your unique build. And I like that. I do like that. Not as much as I like going vertically, but I understand what they're doing, and it doesn't make me mad. Okay, so as everyone is like, why you should play Guild Wars, why you should play Guild Wars. Honestly, you should play it for those stinking world bosses. Those are so cool. Nobody talks about them. Why? They're like the coolest part of the game. I wish Final Fantasy had world bosses. I don't know if Warcraft does. I know ESO does. But if Final Fantasy had world bosses like this, it would be I'd never put it down. And back to Guild Wars. The world bosses are insane and a lot of fun. Especially, they're a spectacle. The Shadow Behemoth in Queensdale Swamp, it like comes out and takes up the entire screen. Like, no joke, it takes up the entire screen. 5 people gotta run around and destroy the portals, while the mass people stay in the middle. Like, I don't know what they're doing there. But then he comes down and he opens his jaw, and you see like the underworld in his mouth, and everyone starts whacking his jaw, and it's so much fun. And like, I can't wait to get to high levels where I could just do a boss train across the world, because I feel like it's set up. The way I do it is I do Shadow Behemoth, and then I do the Maw, and then I do the Giant Worm. So I feel like it's set up in a way where you could just boss train throughout the world. And it's my favorite part of Guild Wars so far. Those world bosses are top notch, and it really does set Guild Wars apart from the rest of the patch. Another thing they do differently is the dungeons. So you enter the dungeon first, and you do like the story mode where you just go through the story, and then you could come back and do explore mode where the dungeon's a bit more opened up and you can choose your certain paths. So as a new player, I gotta skip all the content because I don't want my crew to leave me behind. That always happens. So I have no idea what the context of the dungeon is. I don't think it matters too much. Something about reforging a blade by a king. I've only done 2 of them. I've done the mainer story mode. I haven't got to go into explore mode because I can't find players who want to do explore mode. And then I've done the catacombs. And honestly, I just get carried through the catacombs. I'm always dying. The world does feel populated. There's always someone, especially at Lion's Arch and Divinity's Reach. There's always a good group of players in there. I've heard that Guild Wars was a dead game. I don't get that vibe at all. There was always someone. Especially for events and world bosses. I know I just said I can't find anything for the dungeons, but I think that's just because they're low levels. And at this point, everyone is high level. but I would like to say that Guild Wars is new player friendly. The story. So they call it your personal story. And it's not going to win any Oscars. It's not going to earn any Emmys or Golden Globes. It's just, there was one moment that got to me a little bit. In a good way. It was just like a, aww type of thing. I don't like how you could only continue your story like every 10 levels. It's okay when you get to level 30 because you get your first dungeon that you get to grind through. But going from level 20 to level 30, trying to find something to do without going nuts, it's a bit too spread out for me. I wish I could just like grind through the entire story in a weekend if I wanted to, which you can. I did notice it doesn't have a big online community, does it? I'm not talking player base, I'm talking like YouTube, Twitch, Reddit. Like the community is like self-contained. It's not outwards, it's in the game. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd be willing to make Guild Wars content. If this video does well enough, I'd stream this game, I'd do content on this game. Like, I won't ditch Final Fantasy, but I'd do like 2 Final Fantasy videos and then 1 Guild Wars. This game isn't gonna replace anyone's first MMO. But I feel like this could be everyone's second MMO. Because there's no subscription to it. I bought Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, and End of Dragons all for $50. What a steal. And once you pay for it, it's your... I got on to Destiny about this, so I need to get on to Guild Wars about it. Some of the armors in the cash shop is a bit too cool. Like, some of that should be raid armor. A lot of that should be raid armor. I understand you gotta make a profit, but I just feel like raid armor should be top tier. Cash shop armor should never look cooler than raid armor. To be fair, I haven't got to raid armor, so I don't know what it looks like. But I do have my eyes on you, Guild Wars. I called out Destiny for that crap, and I'm gonna call you out for it too. I will be a lot of things, but I will not be a hypocritical YouTuber. So, I think I said my piece. Overall, Guild Wars is a great experience. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm not gonna uninstall it anytime soon. I still gotta get to max level. I still gotta do Heart of Thorns. I still gotta do Path of Fire. And by that time, I think End of Dragons will be out. 2022 is going to be a good year. We got New World coming out. Not New World, I'm sorry. Lost Ark coming out. And we have End of Dragons. So, I'm so excited for Lost Ark. I played the closed beta. I had a lot of fun with it. But that's a video for a different time. When I get burnt out of Final Fantasy, Guild Wars is nice to go to. But I gotta be burnt out of Final Fantasy first. So, thanks for watching. Go watch my Final Fantasy content. Or my other obscure content if you want. I'm not worried about subscribers yet. Let's just get the view count going. Comments help, likes help. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Artifact out.